What's up? BigHerc916. Positivity, motivation, never settle for average. You know how we do it over here. You know, I saw this video on Instagram and it's been going viral. And it's going viral for all the wrong reasons. Check it out and let's talk about it.
Damn, twin tops. Come on, cousin.
Real J. That blood on
Hey,
They know what's going on though.
come on, man. Come on. We just kill us. We quill block. We got from 85th Mesquite all the way down to 85th Marquette. We run this both ways on my daughter, nigga.
89 really y'all
Through this bitch doing anything over 25, we find it up.
You come our way, it's more than 150 come.
No, none with hiccups.
I don't let my big brother nightmare though, you know that.
You know that.
Yeah,
This shit
homie.
forever.
You know that.
3 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
So when you see this video, one of the things that pops in your mind, you're like, why are they even promoting something like this, right? Why are we talking about it? We should be talking about the young people that are doing good, that are promoting excellence, that are positive. And I totally agree. I totally agree that we should not give young men like this any attention. You know, the only real solution I see to something like this is if you recognize any of these young men as being a relative to you, that you immediately intervene and put down some type of ultimatum as far as changing behavior, changing association, changing schools, changing friends. And if they don't want to go along with that, you might as well invest in some prison stock, funeral homes, insurance, life insurance, or something of that nature, because that's the only thing left, man. It's sad to say, but a lot of these young men who are engaging in this type of behavior, the only thing that's going to stop them is the gravesite or the penitentiary. Because obviously there's no adult males in their life telling them where this is going to lead to. And, you know, people hooting and hollering about, you know, the police and this and that. Look, man, nobody wants these type of individuals in their neighborhood. The one guy said nobody can walk over here. Who wants to be near people who carry themselves on like this, who don't allow other people to walk through their neighborhood? Who wants that? Who wants to see young men like this throwing their lives away and allowing them to do so in plain sight? Nobody. So what happens is the people who are in the community that try to talk to these guys and they intimidate and they threaten them or they harass them. You know what? They decided to throw in the towel. And then when the police come and somehow they're the shootout or they're the confrontation, what they don't talk about is that these people have been terrorizing the neighborhood. They become domestic terrorists before they reach the age of 18. And I talk about this because I've been around it. I've been in the juvenile system. So I'm not talking out of my ass. I'm talking to you from firsthand experience. And what needed to happen when I was on that path was, I'm going to keep it 100, probably an ass whooping by a man in my family that would have basically, it's not, you know, the love. Okay, my mom loved me. I had people that loved me, but sometimes you got to give tough love, like loving and saying, hey, baby, don't do that. I love you. I don't want you to get shot. I don't want you to go to jail. Sometimes men, when they're at that age where these guys are, when testosterone's flowing and they're trying to seek identity, they laugh at that. They need somebody who's physically intimidating, physically stronger, to put them in a place where it's this or else, and to give them structure. No structure, no rules, no discipline. These guys are all crashing out, man. They're all crashing out. I crashed out. And you don't want to hear it, but the truth is that without the father figure who's doing something constructive in reflection to these young men, they are going to go to the streets, and you're going to have a tribal hierarchy of individuals educating each other on a path to nowhere. These guys are more excited about having guns and who they could possibly shoot than planning a future, playing sports, maybe hanging out at the arcade, or probably don't go to arcade no more because you guys got video games at home, but doing something constructive. They don't want any of that because maybe they haven't been exposed to it, but they also have to be told what they should be doing. You can't give young men an option. See, when they started having this soft approach to fathering, let the kid decide, and kids talking back. See, back in the day, man, you would never entertain the thought of talking crazy to any male in your family, because I'd never talk crazy, because it was you're going to get punched in the face, and you would not risk putting yourself on camera and bringing guns around the house, because lo and behold, they might call the cops on you to teach you a lesson. See, these guys is all fine until they realize, like, the reality sets in of them having committed one of the acts they have played out in their mind through whatever fantasy simulations or whatever, and the judge is telling them 50 years, 20 years. See, it's a joke until then, and then everybody's crying, he's just a kid. Well, you do grown person things, you get grown person time. And some of the excuses of, well, they didn't have certain opportunities, blah, blah, blah. Look, man, before you do it, before you go to the pen and commit one of these acts, I'm trying to tell you, man, if you have a child or a relative doing this, you better intervene, or, really the judge has to do what they got to do. You cannot terrorize, man, and get a pass, man. You cannot talk about people can't walk through here and you're just randomly shooting people that look like you. See, these guys, all those guns and all that energy is for somebody that looks like them in the mirror. And then they're going to be locked up with one of those same people, part of whoever their crew is, that they just took their life. You're a tough guy. You're this and that. You can't fight. Obviously, you have no hands. That's why you got guns. These kids back in the day, man, you would fight people. Oh, ain't nobody fighting no more. Don't catch. Look, man, part of growing up and becoming a man is maybe getting punched in your nose, getting a black eye, a bloody lip, because you ran your mouth. You ran your mouth, man. You play football, you're gonna get hit. You might get knocked out. That's part of the sport. These kids are so soft now, they get hurt in football and they want to go shoot somebody. They get dunked on, they want to go stab somebody. That's some really weak male energy going around. That's female energy. And who's to blame? The parents. Nobody else, the parents. Accountability. Accountability. I bet you for each one of these kids, for whatever act they committed, if they charged a parent, I bet you it would change. I bet you these kids' parents would now be out there watching what their kids are doing during the day. Matter of fact, they would have them at home doing homework. When you look at the association there, my mom used to always tell me about my friends. And, you know, I would snicker. It's my mom. You know, I snicker, sneaking around, you know. And then my grandpa used to tell me about my friends. And he used to look crazy when he talked about them. And I'd be like, oh, okay, grandpa, you know, he old. He trying to tell me old head, you know. But he knew, man, there's no future in that shit, man. See, I'm in my 50s now, so me saying it to you guys, oh, man, you ain't, look, man, if somebody would have told me and I would have stuck with my art or BMXing or skateboarding back then, man, who knows where I would have been at today. I wouldn't be doing these videos. You know, maybe I would have been on a path to the X Games, or maybe my art would have already been in a gallery. Who knows where I would have been, but I wouldn't have had to experience a loss of 10 years of my life behind bars trying to figure shit out. There comes a point, right, where there are individuals who do not want to assimilate in a humane way among society. They do not want to be civilized. They don't want you to be able to have nice things. If you do, they want to take it. They don't want to be able to allow you to have your house secure without trying to break in there. Those people, you got to separate from them and just put them somewhere where they can just do that among each other. There are certain people that can't be saved, man. I'm not saying these young men can't. Somebody better intervene in this video. If you see somebody here, you know, you better intervene. But there comes a point where some of these people, they're just gonna have to face whatever it is they're gonna face, man. Some people are habitual, they're habitual criminals, habitual violators. They don't care. They don't respect. Even when they get to jail, they're in there stealing from people. But in there, they get punished. They learn real fast. You don't take something out of somebody's locker or steal something from somebody. In there, there's a consequence. That's one thing about you go to jail and you start stealing and doing that shit you in there, man, shit, you will get hands put on you. And there's no guns. All those guns, tough guy, most of you guys can't do 100 push-ups. When I was 15, I was already benching 250, 275. Most of these guys they probably can't lift their body weight. Weak physically and weak mentally, because if somebody says something to you, you're so emotional, you don't know how to do conflict resolution. You want to kill because you're weak and you have feminine energy. The black community, man, you can't point the finger at the white man. Point the finger at yourself, man. Quit trying to make excuses. You got kids, you know what you need to do. I know it's hard. Stop having them. Have a cutoff. You seen that it was rough with the last little one? Stop having them. Move. Say whatever you can save and just move and give your little one a better chance. Because in this environment, they have prison stock ready to go up on the stock market because they have beds they're going to fill with your children, and they're going to have you in there making products for the next 20 or 30 years for slave wages. You will be working as a slave in prison, and then you'll be talking about, oh, massa. Yeah, that's what's going to happen, man. And then if you think about, oh, man, I remember that video BigHerc said, and then it's too late. See, you should have listened to me beforehand. And you young men, you guys are smart now, man. You guys got access to so many resources. Your phone's a mini computer. You can sell on eBay. You can sell on Etsy. You can sell on Facebook. You can do all this stuff, but you choose to just take. You feel like that's asserting your authority just by taking. You can't, civilized society, you can't take from everybody. Not everybody's going to allow you to take from them. What are you going to do when the person you try to take from knocks you down? It doesn't matter how old you are. You're out there now. And then the parents, well, he was only, look, man, you can't let somebody just come and keep taking. And with the technology now, with these drones and everything, you guys are going down, man. Before you go down, I'm trying to tell you, man, do the right thing. Go and find something constructive, man. There's so much you could be doing out there. So much. Whether it's art, whether it's learning about auto mechanics, whether it's learning about engineering, whether it's learning about welding, fabrication, man. Look, man, isolate yourself from the bullshit, man. Give yourself a chance in life before you destroy your life. Because a lot of you guys are just destroying your lives in record numbers. Record numbers, man. All you guys run around with these guns and these little little clickers on them, whatever you guys got on them to make them automatic. You just, dude, you think you're doing something. You want to be a gangster? Go into the military. Learn to be a sniper, man. Go and be deployed somewhere and start doing some black ops. You want to be a gangster? Go into the military. You'll learn a skill and you could be a gangster with a gun. Yeah, you could be a gangster with a gun. That's a real gangster. Oh, they're doing it for the gun. Yeah, they're doing it legally. You guys are doing it illegally, and you're going to get your wig split. I'm just saying, man. I don't even like to put up videos like this. People like, you should. When I put up the other videos, no views. Nobody wants to hear it. I can talk about kids that did a debate in Harvard. I could talk about one of the youngest inventors. I could talk about someone who's a 4.3 that got into college at 14. Man, you put this and, oh yeah, this is what they are programming you to be, crash dummies. Crash dummies, man. You listening to the music and the people you listen to, they're programming you also, but you're allowing it because you now know from me telling you what it's doing. And if you choose not to be responsible, that's your fault for being a crash dummy. Dummy. Ain't nobody gonna care, man, once you get in themselves, man. Guard up in there, they're gonna be punking you. And then the other dude up in there, he old, maybe he miserable, he gonna be punking you. You ain't got no hands, so it might be years before you actually get to actually have some type of authority up in there because everybody gonna be punking you. Hopefully nobody punk you for your cheeks. The shit is serious. I'm not here to make jokes about it. I've been there. I've seen it. I've seen some things, I can't unsee. And the cycle, man, for you young black men, what about the other? Look, man, I'm talking about you guys because when I see you, I want to see you win. I don't want to see you lose, man, but you guys are not winning like this. There are a bunch of you guys out there winning. You watch my videos. You say, man, Big Herc, man, thank you. Man, look, I love y'all. To see y'all win and for us to be somewhere prestigious together, celebrating or enjoying something, that's what it's all about. But I don't want to be around no young men like these dudes. I don't want to see these dudes in my neighborhood. I don't want to be around. I don't want to confront these guys because you can't talk to them. You know what I mean? Because I'm not their relative, so they ain't going to listen to me. And then they're going to try to do something to show that they can assert themselves because they're mentally not mature enough to understand rational communication. And then they have a gun, which they're holding like a phallus, thinking they're empowered when they're really weak. And it's sad, man, because nobody's taught them any better. The only people that can say these guys is a family member. Outsiders, unless their family member takes them and somebody like me and they sit down and they ain't got their blinky and they want to listen. But a lot of these guys, I say exposure is one of the best things you could do to help young people to see another opportunity. But you got to get them out of that environment and you got to get them around somebody they will respect. And right now, these guys ain't respecting nothing. But what they will respect is the police when they come through there and they start running and waving that gun. And man, you already know what's going to happen. But see, people want to shout out the police, but these guys, you see them outside the window and you film them terrorizing. And then when they take down somebody else, nobody says nothing about that part. You only complain when the police get involved. But you say nothing when they shoot another black young man or woman. That's the problem. BigHerc916, subscribe, share. Don't forget to stop by the BigHerc916 store and pick up a sticker for your car, or a patch, or a sticker for your laptop, or maybe a beanie, or read one of the many books that BigHerc916 has authored. You know how we do it.